I'm going on an adventure! Alright, the truck is loaded up to the gills, and it's just me. Let's go on a very special adventure. Well, I stopped to get some gas on my way up, and just to kind of clue you in on what I'm doing. Tonight, I'm headed up to the cabin. I'm going to stay there for the night, getting up early, and then just cannonballing to the UP. And I'm pretty excited about this spot, and I'm excited to share this spot with you, even though I'm not going to tell you where it is because it's that good. I don't want a bunch of people there. So I look forward to showing it to you, though, tomorrow. On the road today, getting over to the campsite. I'm not looking at the camera. I mean, I'll glance occasionally, but that's because there's only one way to get to the Upper Peninsula from the Lower Peninsula of Michigan. And that is by crossing the Mackinac Bridge. And it's down to one lane today, and traffic's a little tight, so I'm trying to pay attention to that. But the Mackinac Bridge is at the very tip of the Lower Peninsula, the midden, if you will. And it's the point where Lake Huron and Lake Michigan meet up together. I mean, just look at a map if you don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, the bridge is absolutely spectacular. It's a really impressive feat of engineering. I can get past a truck now, so we're split to two lanes. Let me show you what I'm working with here. Look at this. Both sides, just incredible. And there she is. Almost to the campsite. Let's go. Well, I made it. I don't have anything set up yet. I just got the truck parked where it needs to be. Let me show you this place. So yeah, we got the truck parked, and I mean, like, this is nice, like cedars and low growth. It's really nice. But then, like, you come right over here. Yeah, that's Lake Huron. Pretty nice, pretty remote. Gonna be a good one. Let's get camp set up. All right, camp's all set up. So, I mean, there it is. Just chasing sunlight for the solar panels and all that stuff. I'm gonna take a little walk and probably go for a swim. It's pretty hot out here. Like, sticky, muggy, humid. Great time to get in the lake. It's more than a little rocky out here. I'm probably going to leave my sandals on so I don't completely wreck myself. There's all these cool, like, most of the rocks here are like limestone, like real soft, and there's all these big rocks that have all this cool weathering on it. Take a look at this. That's all caused by like other harder rocks and sand and water just beating it up over and over again. Really cool. One of the things that really annoys me when I find these camping spots is when people leave just trash everywhere. This is a beautiful campsite, and I mean there's just trash everywhere. So I'm gonna start first. Fire pit. I mean, what is that? I don't even know. I've got a garbage bag. It's not that tough. Clean up after yourselves. Filthy animals. It's time to get dinner going. What's on the menu tonight? Ribeye, mushrooms, mac and cheese, because I'm 10 years old. I got a fire going, and just got to cook down to some coals. My new Temu pan is ready to rock. I just need to warm that up and burn off whatever coating's on that. Then it's dinner time, folks. This is exciting. And we are cooking. A little bit of butter, salt, pepper, garlic, and doesn't get better than this. The steak is done. It's resting. Man. Mushrooms, butter. Oh, it's gonna be good. That's what's up. Look at that amazing dish. That's dinner. I could not be happier. I was gonna make mac and cheese too, but like, that's a giant steak. I know the video doesn't really convey, but it's giant. Do I look like I'm in a food coma? Because I feel like it. I didn't even finish. That was a lot of steak and a lot of mushrooms. Oh, yeah. It was delicious, though. That was one of the best things I think I've cooked in the woods. It always, I don't know. I mean, I cook steaks and stuff the same way at home, but it just always tastes better. Like when it's over a fire and you're in the woods. In the comments, if you're watching this, if you're not, you won't even know. But in the comments, what is your favorite meal to cook when you're camping? I know some people it's like bologna sandwiches because they don't want to mess with anything. I get that. Tomorrow night I'll probably have a freeze-dried meal because I've expended like all of my need to cook with this meal. I take that back. I got a couple more things up my sleeve for tomorrow morning. But right now, man, it's a beautiful evening. I'm just going to hang out. I got a book that needs to be read. Maybe watch a movie. And tonight, we'll see how it goes. The Northern Lights may make an appearance. And if they do, I'll be sure to share photos with you right here. But we'll see. It's called Chasing the Northern Lights. Last year I talked about it too. I ran after it. At least this time I don't have to go anywhere. Like it'll be right there. So we'll see. We'll see. Well, good morning. It is day 2. After that gigantic steak dinner I had last night, I slept like a baby. It was good. Like water lapping at the shore just totally put me right out to sleep. I slept all night. Slept for like 8 hours. I've had my coffee, had breakfast, just a lot of random snacks. What's on the docket today? Nothing. It's going to be hot. Like 85, humid, hot. And so I foresee. I've already been in the lake once. Took my bath, got cooled off, and I got another couple books to burn through today. I think I'm going to do most of it right here on the hammock. This is a pretty good spot too, where, I mean, I gotta beat that. But that's today. If I do anything exciting, doubtful, I'll bring you along and show you what I'm up to. Well, update. I haven't done anything. I've read books. I've swam a few times to cool off. And started picking up camp because it looks, and the weather tells me it's going to rain later. I was all set. I was going to, if you're like me, you've probably watched Outdoor Boys a few times on YouTube. And Luke always makes bread when he's out in the woods. And so I found the recipe and I'm like, I'm going to make bread. I have a pan. I'm all set. I bought bread flour, bought everything I need. You know what I seem to have misplaced from the shopping cart to the bag is the yeast. No yeast, no delicious bread. I was going to make bread and I was going to make shakshuka. I'm just going to have to save that for another time, another trip. So tonight, you know me, going with good old Mountain House, coming in clutch. That's why I always throw a couple of those in the bin, because you never know. You never know when you're going to need it. So dinner's easy tonight. Nothing fancy. I'm not going to show you me pouring boiling water into a bag of food. That's pretty boring. But it's been a good day other than that. Heading out tomorrow morning. Trying to get everything situated because it looks like it's going to be raining in the morning. So I just want to get packed up quick and get out. Hit the road. I've got about a 6-hour ride home. If the rain holds off, I will at least build a fire, even though it's like 90 degrees. I'm sweating just standing here. Beautiful. Something is definitely blowing in. I'm gonna have to batten down the hatches in a few minutes, I think. Eat my Mountain House in my bed. I don't know. We'll see. Well, while I'm just kind of hanging out, I figured this would be a good time to talk about, why am I on this trip? Why do I take a trip by myself every year at this, same weekend? So 7 years ago, I was 38, and without going into a whole lot of detail, I had a heart attack. 2 days after receiving a glowing report from my doctor about how good I was doing, I had a heart attack, a big one. I ended up with 3 stents. I had a 95% blockage and a 90% blockage on the right side and an 85% blockage on the left side. I shouldn't be here telling you this story, but I am. So that was 7 years ago. And what I've tried to do the past few years is to get away by myself just for a couple days to focus on what I'm grateful for, to give thanks for another year of living, and to reflect on changes I need to make, things I want to do for the next year. And so that's why I come out here and sit. I try and find places that are quiet and remote. I'm not going to be able to, relax the way that I need to if I'm in the middle of a state park and it's just chaotic. So I find places like this where I can just sit. I can look at the water. Some poor soul battling the wind on a kayak out there. I can listen to the wind. I can listen to the birds. And I just exist. And, I say that. I'm, alone in the woods and you see a car driving past me back there. you know, there are some people here, but these lots are spread out pretty far apart. So it's not too bad at all. That's a big rig going through there. So anyways, that's what I do. That's why I'm here. You know, obviously this was probably like the number one most traumatic moment of my life. And you know, wherever you're at in life, you've had something happen. You've had trauma. And I think it's important for us to, when we go through those moments, not just ignore them, but to like really learn to sit in those emotions, be comfortable, figure out what's going on. That's what I do. That's why I'm out here. I hope you enjoy watching these videos. I enjoy putting them together, that's for sure. But more importantly, it's just bringing somebody else along on the adventure with me, sharing these places when I can. This little diver duck family just showed up in front of me here. Oh, there's Mom. Oh, there's the babies. They're really fun to watch. And she's gone again. Wait, oh. There they are. So, I'm back home, obviously. Man, what a trip. What a great trip I had. So, let me kind of walk you through what happened after I turned off the camera with those diver ducks. So, I already talked about how my dinner plans for that night, I was going to do bread and shakshuka. That fell through because I didn't bring the bread yeast, and then on further inspection, I didn't even have a can opener. Me who brings everything when I go out, didn't have a can opener, couldn't open the tomato sauce and stuff. So, is what it is. I was set and situated. I was just going to have a Mountain House freeze-dried meal, and got that out, got my little camp stove out to boil some water. And once again, the camp stove jet was all clogged up. And so no fuel would come through, burner wouldn't ignite, all that. I didn't have the wrench to take it all apart and clean it and blow it out. It was at that point, and I think if you go back and happen to look, I mentioned there's, cars traveling behind me as I talk about being alone in the woods. That ended up being an entire overlanding group of like 8 big trucks and a couple of them pulling trailers and stuff. Really great people. They were super nice, but there was a lot of them, and they were pretty loud. So all my dinner plans were scrapped. A whole bunch of people moved in, and then I started getting weather alerts on my phone that something big was moving across. Like moving from west to east, and severe thunderstorm warnings, hail, high winds, possible tornadoes, all that stuff. I made an executive decision. I was an hour and a half from the cabin. I'm going to pack up and just try and outrun the storm and get back there, sleep in my own bed, just be comfortable for a night. Which I'm comfortable in the woods. Like, it wasn't even that, but trying to get out. Stuff's not working. Let's just take all this as a good sign. So packed up real quick. Takes about 20 minutes to get packed up and hit the road. When I get out to the main road and I have decent enough cell signal, I call home, talk to my wife, just let her know what I'm doing, where I'm going to be for the night. And it starts raining. I mean, raining hard, and I'm having to slow down. Wipers are at full speed, and I make a remark to my wife, like, oh, it's so weird, like, with all this rain coming down, like, it smells like fish. Like, specifically, it smells like out on the boat having a successful day fishing for walleye. Like, strong smell. I'm like, that's super weird. And it's, I mean, storming like crazy and wind and everything. And I get out to make my way out to the Mackinac Bridge, and there's a wind advisory and, you know, speed limits, and it's, you know, one lane, and I'm behind a semi truck that is having a hard time. Like, for those of you that don't know, the Mackinac Bridge is pretty notorious when these high wind events happen. It can be a little sketchy out there. Cars have gotten blown off of the bridge. So that's in the back of my mind, and like I'm following this truck doing like 10 miles an hour, and it's just, the whole thing is like whoom, whoom, like every time the wind hits it, just popping it around. I get all the way to the other side, and the sky's clear, and we're good. Make it to the cabin, and I'm like, you know, the rain smelling like fish was kind of weird. I should check this out. Apparently, that has to do with water spouts. And so water spouts were over Lake Michigan right there, sucking up everything. There was probably a trout or two that got pulled into the storm and was just dumping that water back down as rain. So it was that drive across the bridge probably took a few years off my life. But overall, I had a great time. You know, I talk about why I take this trip every year and what I need to focus on. That was in the beginning of August. Right now we're in the middle of September as I'm putting this together. You know, it's all about reflection for me, both on the past and looking ahead. What do I need to do? How do I need to make changes? Like really setting my intentions for the next year. So that's where I'm at, putting this together. Nothing exciting at the cabin. The Northern Lights were supposed to come out, but there was too much cloud cover, so didn't get that. But in a future video, that's probably the next one to come out after this one, I do get some pictures of the Northern Lights. We were up at the cabin, so look forward to sharing that with you next. As always, if you stuck around all the way to the very end, I appreciate you so much. Hey, casual viewers, if you stuck around this long and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider. It helps me. This is something that I love to do, and I would love to be able to do more of it, to share this stuff with you. So thank you so much. As always, get out there, have an adventure.